question. Oh, you miss my touching. You do. Show me something. Give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're a good guy. Make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it. I wanna see it. See how. Rewind. When we rewind, it feels so nice. I can't help got this sweet talk. I'm all on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe.
Hey guys, how you doing? Russ here. Ask the Wizard, June 10th. Oh, where's my thing? I created a new configuration on my switcher here and things are moved around. Anyway, how are you doing? Let's try this in again. Ask the Wizard on June 10th, and today's episode is Terror Thursday. So, well, there's just a couple of comments. First of all, so some of you may have seen what am I thinking of? A couple of things here. Some of you may have seen some graphics. I've even been doing some test runs later on at night. I call it Ask the Wizard Almost Daily Meditation Radio, using so the thought was just different ways to kind of reach out and connect with you guys, kind of share who I am, allow you to share who you are. And with the internet radio, it'll be just a mix up of different songs. I'll probably throw a few meditations in, things like that. I'll have the camera turned on so you can check out and you can see here I am. Would love for you to connect, to say hi, things like that. So just another, let me think, another forum to create and nurture community with a capital C, right? Which is really what this is all about from moving forward, is building. So there's that. It'll probably be, I'll air it live. It's going to be later on at night. So I'm thinking 11-ish or so. I'm thinking probably an hour, but we'll see how it goes. But also if you check out, you'll see me. I'm going to broadcast it live on Facebook. So you'll see me popping up, going live probably here and there. And so check it out. I invite you to hop over. It's a really cool interface. I think it's going to work really well. Another opportunity for us to connect. Like I said, maybe you could throw in a little bit of commentary, a few maybe meditations, a few healing sessions, and I'm just available for you guys. So if you're looking for a quick healing treatment or something like that, you know I'm live. You can just hop on, shoot it out in the comments, and we're good to go. So there's that. 777 Club. Again, most of you know about this. It's going really well. The reference library is building and building. Each week, there's a new video module in the reference library. 777 Club is built upon the 5 steps of manifesting in our Manifesting Home Study course, which is right here. This is actually a version that I edited and stuff like that, but the 5 steps are creating your perfect desire, living your desire on the inside, managing resistances, a big piece of it, taking inspired action, and the 5th step, which is often overlooked, celebrating your victories. So important to remember that there are no small victories. There are no insignificant victories. And we have a tendency to downplay our accomplishments. And so, and I think one of the reasons we do that is we've decided that there's small victories and big victories, and that a small victory isn't worthy of celebrating as much as a big victory is. Remember, when we're working with vibrational mechanics, energy mechanics, it's about vibration. It's not really about bigger or smaller, and everything is scalable. You've seen me use this example a lot. Take the cup. If I let go of this cup, it's going to fall. If I held this pen, I let go, it's going to fall. If I went up to the roof of the house and jumped off, I'm going to fall. Gravity doesn't say, oh, it'd be really easy to bring the pen down. Boy, to bring his big ass down to the ground is going to take a lot of work. Gravity is scalable. So is this, which is why, especially now as we're moving through into building, we've been through kind of the destruction phase. We've been through the strengthening phase. And while there's still going to be some cleanup to do, now we're moving on to the building phase. And this is where really find those victories and celebrate the hell out of them, because there are no small ones. And the thing of it is, if as you celebrate those, what you decide are small ones, that's the same vibrational essence of the major ones. And so what you're doing is, in a way, you're helping just sync that cycle. Oh, there you go. Sync the cycle into your subconscious. Right? Here's, I do the work. I see the victory. I celebrate the victory. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. And what's happening is you're attaching the emotion to that. And as that sort of soaks into your subconscious, because your subconscious doesn't know big or small either. So what it's going to do, and this is why feeling, I didn't know I was going to say this, but anyway, we'll get to the topic. This is why feeling is such an important piece. So step 2 is living your C on the inside, living your desire on the inside. That's why the feeling of what it would feel like when your desire comes to fruition is so valuable. Because it's those vibrations, that vibrational essence that really shuttles that information back into your subconscious. For our 777 Club guys, your managers, right? Your managers really listen to emotions, to those vibrations that we label as emotions. So yes, the intention is valuable. Writing out your intentions is valuable, all that kind of stuff. But what really shuttles them through into your subconscious is feeling them. What's the feeling? What will I feel like when? Fill in the blanks. Bob Proctor. Boy, I first seen him, 2006 in The Secret, actually. And he has a little affirmation that he uses, and it starts with, I am so happy now that, and then you kind of fill in whatever, right? And I think that's what's so valuable, is it's the feeling. It's the feeling, not just the thought, not just the pictures of the movies, but the feelings. So that's why celebrating your victories, no big victories, no small victories, celebrate every single victory is so valuable, because you're teaching your subconscious, because your subconscious is going to want to attract more of similarly flavored experiences. See, that's the thing. And because your subconscious doesn't know little or small, your subconscious doesn't know easy and difficult. It just listens to vibrations. So if you've taken a particular flavor, so if I'm just making stuff up, if you manifested a free cup of coffee or whatever, and you go, man, I'm so just, oh, this feels so amazing, and I'm just so over the top because I'm drinking this coffee that tastes so good, and oh my God, look how good I manifested, and all that kind of stuff. A normal, or even somebody on our side of the fence, could look at that and go, all you did was manifest a cup of coffee. That's no big deal. See, and that's where we trip ourselves up, because our subconscious treats that the same way as it would treat the fruition of whatever it may be, the big stuff. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the topic for today, but it just seemed to happen. 777 Club, you guys know about it. It's building momentum, getting larger. It's really cool to see the really neat directions it is taking that we didn't anticipate in the beginning, but we're loving it. So check that out. Go to the website, go to the Facebook profile. You can find all that stuff out. Okay, so Terror Tuesday, or Terror Tuesday. Lord, where's my God? Where is it? Let's try that again. Terror Thursday. There we go. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to start with a story. You guys have heard this story before, but it's such a powerful teaching of the firewalk. The first firewalk I went to would be really close to this time of year in probably 2007, I believe. And the firewalk is, I'll call it an personal empowerment seminar. And then at the end of it, if you wish, you can choose to experience what we were taught by walking across a bed of glowing hot coals safely in bare feet. And when you're standing, any of you that have had this experience know what I'm talking about. When you're standing at the foot of that coal bed and you feel the heat pouring, because it's not a trick, when you feel the heat pouring off of that and you're looking down at your bare feet, You are very assuredly in the presence of fear. Like one of the most primal fears that I think probably all species have is the fear of fire. And so, and that's why one of the reasons the firewalk is so powerful, because it's such a deep primal, so subconscious, right? It's subconsciously when you come out of the chute, you've got that fear of fire. And so when you're standing at the foot of that firebed, you feel the fear. And now here's the key, and I kind of said it in the show notes. Fear is not the issue. Fear is not what holds you back. Just stick with me here. It's your fear of fear that holds you back. Now, and just think about this. Now, because you got to kind of wrap your head around it a little bit. Standing at the coal bed, you're feeling the fire, you're feeling that fear. But fear in and of itself is neither good nor bad. It is just very powerful. And we can harness that power. But in order to harness that power, the first step we need to take is to not be afraid of the power. So in a way, as I say, it's our fear of fear that causes the issue. Another way to put it is that energy of fear is very, very powerful. But the thing of it is, it's very, very powerful, and it goes in all directions, right? It's like I don't know, like a race car engine that's fired up and is even in gear, but nobody's steering it, right? So we can harness that power, but if we're afraid of it, we are not going to, if you will, embrace it. See, and this was sort of the inspiration for this is so often, interesting. So often, I'm just listening. The last step to leveling up, that's obviously my words. The last step to leveling up is leaning through the fear of the fear. Another way to put it is leaning through the fear. And it's interesting how many times I've experienced this, and I think you guys probably have too. There's that potential future that we are afraid of, right? Now I'm going to say this more accurately. There's a potential future event that you are living in this present moment that has the energy of fear attached to it. That's it. Now, we can either choose to embrace and use that fear, or we can choose to be afraid of it. And this is where the issue is. It's our fear of the fear that in a crazy way disempowers us. And it's kind of paradoxical, because so often that extra horsepower you need to push you through to that next level is sitting right in front of us. But because we're afraid of it, and I mean, we got good reason, right? If we don't understand it and we don't know how to harness it, then instead of using it, again, you're sitting in the race car and it's in gear and going, 100 mile an hour, and you don't have your hands on the steering wheel. And that's when shit happens, right? So at the firewalk, I'm standing there, and this is for me personal, I'm feeling the fire. So what we were taught was to be in the presence of the fear, to feel the fear, however that feels in your body. Believe me, it's not hard to feel when you're standing at the foot of a firebed and you're about to take bare feet and walk across it. And to feel the fear, but then to manage your fear of the fear with whatever techniques, but just for the purposes here, what you're managing is not the fear, it's managing your reaction to it, your relationship to it, things like that. And so this is a little technique, and this is why spiritual practice comes into play. This is why your self-healing treatments, whatever that looks like for any of you guys, is so powerful, because that's what prepares you. That's what strengthens you. Because fear, yes, is very real. And so many of us have been damaged by fear. But what's caused the damage is us not understanding that fear in and of itself is simply power. It's how we manage that power that's effective. I was, oh man, this is, I don't know how long ago. A friend of mine worked at a car dealer, and every once in a while they would need to shuttle cars. So this one time I went up with another fella, I'd been doing it forever. There's three of us, and we went up to Edmonton to bring these vehicles back. And one of them was what is it? A Dodge Challenger, I believe it is. So like 500 horse engine and a manual transmission. So this one guy, he chose that car. So the car dealer guy, he says, so you know how to manage this, right? Because this is a really powerful engine in this car, and it's a standard. So you know how to manage this horsepower in a standard, right? Oh yeah, okay. So in he gets. And I tell you, it wasn't very long before like 3 or 4 or 5 blocks down the way. Here he is pulled over to the side of the road. It's not funny, but it is. To the side of the road. And when you get out of the car, you can smell something burning. Not burning on fire. And it was a clutch. And so I don't think he wrecked the clutch, but he definitely took a lot of wear and tear on it. Why? Because he didn't know how to manage the power that he had access to. And so that's, I think, the first thing. I mean, we could talk about this forever, but just for our purposes today is understanding, right? Information, understanding, application, right? The understanding of the mechanics or the landscape. So even just with this, understanding that the problem, if you will, that I have with fear is not so much fear itself. It's that I am afraid of it, or in a way, my relationship with it. Now, it doesn't mean you do this, take me, right? But it also doesn't mean you do this. Oh. It doesn't mean you do that either, right? And now here's the thing. At the foot of the coal bed, you feel the fear, and you just simply stand in the presence of the fear. You don't try and conquer it. You don't try and exorcise it. You don't run away from it. You don't try and understand it. You just stand in the presence of that experience. So we stood in the presence of that fire, because fire is neither good nor bad, right? Fire is a handy thing in some cases. In some cases, not so much. But to stand in the presence of that and just not react to it, not run away, in this case, not run into it, just stand. And one of the things I like to say is bring your awareness to the present moment. So now your awareness is, so in a way, your homework assignment. Your homework assignment is, when I feel fear, I'm going to do my best to just simply maybe breathe and just stay present. Don't try and analyze it. Don't run into it. Don't run away from it. Just stand. And what you will find is there's this crazy sense of peace that actually happens. It's this sense of peacefulness, and it kind of makes you do this because you're afraid, run away kind of thing. But if we just stand, and your heavy technique, focus on your breath. I mean, there's 1,000 different techniques, but just stand. What you'll find is the fear may not change, but you start to feel, I could even say the word peaceful in the presence of the fear. You see? You're not trying to chase it away. You're not trying to run away from it yourself. You're simply standing in the presence of it, and just stand. And that's what we were taught. Thomas Chadwick, he's the guy that taught me. And that's what we were told to do, is just stand in the presence of this. You feel the heat. You can't stop thinking about, I'm going to walk on this, right? But you just stand. Experience any experiences you're going to feel, any sensations you're going to feel. And now here's the thing. And he says, now you're going to ask yourself a question. he said, you're going to ask yourself the question, and this is the question. The question is, am I ready? This is important. Am I ready to walk across this bed of hot coals safely? And he says, you're going to feel, he used the words here, I'm going to say feel an answer. And if the answer is no, then don't walk across a bed of coals, because this isn't a trick. You can burn your feet. And he really emphasized that. He says, when you stand there, then ask yourself the question, am I ready? Am I ready to lean through this fear or not? And if you hear no, then don't walk. It's not a failure. In a way, it's as much of a victory. There you go, as walking through it. Because you recognize that your body is saying, no, I'm not. Good, then don't. Because if you did, you're going to burn your feet. See, and that's the thing. It's not like, oh, okay, so whatever fear I feel, it's just a fear that's the issue, so I'm just going to run headlong into it. Not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, this is the understanding of the landscape. And we can learn to manage a relationship with fear, which has different flavorings, differently, more effectively, and therefore start to harness that power. So if you are standing at the foot of the firebed and the fear is right in front of you, so you feel it. You don't run into it. You don't run away from it. You just stand. And there'll be the best word I can use is sense of peace or calm. And it'll feel really weird. It's like your I don't know, subconscious, I guess, doesn't know what the hell to do, because it knows what you're planning on doing, and it knows that fear burns. It always burns. Fire always burns, right? This fear always burns. There you go. That wasn't a mistake. Now I think about it. Fear burns. But when you stand there, if you just stand, and it may not happen the first time, and it may not happen with every flavoring of it, but don't be surprised if you feel this crazy sense of peace or calm or stillness, and your subconscious doesn't know what to do. It's absolutely freaking out. Why? Because it knows that you're seriously thinking about stepping on this fire, and it's just going crazy because it knows that fear always burns. So when you're standing there, not reacting, not running, there you go, and you just feel whatever you're going to feel, ask yourself that question, am I ready? If you're not, don't do it. If you feel that yes, then what you're going to do is you're going to not walk into the fear. You're going to walk or lean through it. Now, what are you leaning through it to? So he taught us, when you're standing at the foot of the firebed, feeling the fire, all that kind of stuff, where is your focus? Your focus is on the grass on the other side of the firebed. So the fear that you feel, you can just about bet money that it's directly in between you and where you want to be. See, so often when almost like I'll say the deepest fears come to confront you, that's your subconscious's last stand. Because it's saying, oh my God, this person is doing their, they might not use these words, doing their manifesting skills. They're doing this. They've been doing their healing, all this kind of stuff. They're like this close to the manifestation of their desire. And we've got to do something to stop it. They're not your enemies. It's just you're introducing some big ass change and they don't like change. So they're going, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to find their weak spot. We're going to find their weak spot and we're going to pull that fear up, because that's the most effective thing we can think of to do to get them to stop. See, here's the thing. When often I'll say deepest fears, this is really good. Deepest fears, for lack of a better term, when they come right in your face in this crazy ass way, that's often a really good indicator that you're this close to the manifestation of a desire. Like this close, which is why the fear is coming up. Think of the fear of fire. Primal. So what do? You feel the fear. You go, oh God, oh God, oh God. You run away. And guess what happens? The fear may subside. Why does the fear subside? Because your subconscious, who brought the fear up in the first place, goes, okay, they've stepped back. We're good. You take another run at it. And of course, the same thing happens over again. And you may do this 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 times. But there's going to come that moment when you breathe and that little voice, that nudge says, yes, I'm ready. Where's your focus? Your focus is on the desire on the other side. And then what do? You lean through the fear. You walk through the fear. You're very aware of your fear, but your focus is now not on the fear. It's on your intention, your desire on the other side of it. You don't run, you walk. You lean into the fear, as I like to say. You lean through the fear. You step through the fear. And where's your focus? On the green grass on the other side. And when you do that, in that moment, everything changes. And it almost feels like you're going crazy. And in a way, you kind of are. Because in so many cases, these deeply concreted in belief systems that have convinced you that you have to desire what you've been told you can have, not desire what you want, are crumbling in that moment. And the thing of it is, the build up to the crumbling of these could take who knows how long. But so often when they crumble, it happens in a moment. I've lost track of how many times that we've been working and moving and doing all this kind of stuff. And then it's like this one big crescendo of, oh shit, right? One big crescendo. And when every impulse in you is to do this, we simply lean forward. In an instant, everything changes. And that's what happens on the firebed. As you're walking on that firebed, you're it's like every common sense thing you have is being assaulted, because your subconscious doesn't know what to do, because oh my god, I'm walking on fire. Fire's supposed to burn, but it's not burning right now. And you just keep your eye on that intention. You walk. And in that moment, now, instead, that incredible power that you've been afraid to harness, now you've got a hold of it. And now you're using that same power to actually propel you forward, when before it shot you back. And actually, more accurately, the fear didn't shoot you back. It was your fear of fear caused you to react and run away from it. So often that fear is the power source that, as you harness it, propels you into the next level. This is really good. So the next time that fear comes in and you feel your fear of the fear, right? Just stand. Don't try and fight it or drive it away. Don't run away from it. Just stand in the presence of fear and feel whatever you feel. I'm not saying it'll happen the first time or every time, but it's probably going to happen more than you think. Where this crazy sense of calm will come upon you. And you simply, it's almost like falling forward. You just fall forward through the fear. And in that moment, you're now harnessing it to propel you into that next greater expression of who you are. This is really good. Yeah, this was really good. A lot of what I said today was just coming from from source through me to you guys. I think that's about it. So this has been Terror. I had to do that again because it's so cool. All right, guys, share. We're all in this together. 777 Club. You know, you can find out all you need to know about it going to the website, going to the profile. I encourage you to check it out. Check it out and see what you think for sure. The almost daily Ask the Wizard, almost daily meditation radio. I'll probably still be farting around doing some testing and things like that. You may even see me going live a few times today with it, just trying it out. The plan I'm thinking is it'll be later on at night, maybe be an hour long. It'll be some mixes of music and different things like this with some commentary. Again, opportunity for you guys to reach out and say, hey, you want a quick healing session, a question or comment, anything like that. So you can check that out. In-person workshops, of course. I mean, we've always scheduled them. There just haven't been that many of them. But now the ice is thawing on things like that. So you'll see more and more of the in-person workshops. And, of course, the virtual ones as well. I mean, we have a Reiki level 1 and 2 this weekend. Yes, this weekend. A virtual one as well. It works really well. It's a kind of a pay as you go, or you get a discount if you buy the whole thing at once. And also, by taking the virtual, when we do have the in-person ones, and if it's near you, you can attend those as well, right? And it's all we ask is just to pay the difference, right, between the virtual and the in-person one. So it's not like you're really losing out on anything. It allows you to get the training right now, start working with it right now, and then, of course, when there's an in-person one in your neighborhood, you can always stop in, and that would be wonderful to see you. All right, guys, it's been a fantastic show. Really pleased with the show today, and you'll see me tomorrow around 11:30 ish. All right, guys, see you on the web.